All right, so we're making ice cream today. How fun is this going to be? Now, what you're doing today is you're getting a taster of what our regular Kids Love to Cook at Home members get access to all the time. So today we're making world's yummiest, world's easiest, world's greatest vanilla ice cream. And so I'm going to walk you through the class and do all the things that I do in a regular class. And what's really cool is I can see some of you guys have come to our in-person classes, and I can see some guys that have joined our online classes. So nice to see some familiar faces. Great. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to read over 5 safety tips that I start every single lesson everywhere. And then we're going to read through our ingredients, read through our equipment, and then we're going to get into it. This is not a long class. You're not going to be here for hours and hours because it's literally the world's easiest ice cream. And then you're going to freeze it. Right back here, I've got some that I made last night, and you're going to enjoy it in a few hours' time. Fantastic. Okay, so before we start, 5 safety tips that we need to do every single time when we cook. So the first one is wash your hands. Always wash your hands. If you're an apron wearer, I forgot my apron in the last class and I got flour and etc. down me. So if you've got an apron, and I can see some of you guys are wearing your apron, fantastic. So wash your hands. Keep your hands away from your nose and your mouth. Remember, you're at home, so it doesn't matter how messy you get. The tap is just there so you can access your own tap at any point. That makes it nice and easy. So we wash our hands, keep our hands away from our nose and our mouth. Third thing, cough and sneeze into your elbow, making sure that you turn away from your workspace. From your workspace. So we cough, we sneeze, that's a normal part of life, but we don't want to cough it over anything that we're doing. Remember, today we're actually not cooking, we're not cooking anything, we're assembling it. So if you cough into something that you've made, it's actually going to go into your food and other people are going to eat it. So we don't want that. So wash your hands, hands away from your nose and your mouth, cough and sneeze into your elbow. And the fourth thing is always speak nicely about food. Even if there is something that you don't like, for you guys that have been with me for a long time, you know that my least favorite vegetable is corn. So if you don't like something, it's not yuck, it's just that you don't like it. And the way to get out of that is to say, no, thank you. So we always speak nicely about food. If you are cooking with someone in your workbench, always put your utensils downwards. So instead of we're not waving things around, keep your utensils pointing downwards. Fantastic. All of my ingredients in one section, and I've got all of my utensils in another section of my workbench. And the reason that I do that is to simply make sure that I don't lose anything. So when I read through my ingredients, and it's okay for this recipe because we don't have a lot in this recipe, not a lot of ingredients, but always keep that in that section, your ingredients, and then put your utensils in another section, and then you'll be able to know where everything is. Great. All right, so let's read it. I need my glasses for that. Perfect. All right. Now, when I read the ingredients, all I want you to do, we're not worrying about the volumes at this stage. We'll do that when we start cooking. All we're doing is checking. Have I got my ingredients on the workbench? And what that means is that when we actually start cooking, it's a nice, slow process. And it's relaxed and we're not, oh, I've got to get this, got to get that, got to get... And these are the things that we learn inside our Kids Love to Cook at Home membership. So this is what our guys do every single week. Great. So first thing, some thickened cream. If you haven't got thickened cream and you've got regular cream, that's fine. Just means that you'll have to beat it for a little bit longer. So cream, you'll need some condensed milk, some vanilla extract. Doesn't matter if you've got extract, essence, whatever you've got, and then you'll need some mix-ins. Now, you can make just plain vanilla ice cream if you want to. I'm going to make, I've got some blueberries and raspberries here, but there's all sorts of different mix-ins that you can do. You can put chopped chips in. You can put some mini marshmallows in. You can put some nuts if you like nuts. All sorts of different things that you can make. You can put some chocolate sprinkles in there, or anything that you like. I like to use things that I've got at home that are a little bit sort of at the end of their life. So my raspberries, I've kind of chopped off a couple of bits, and they're ready to be beautiful in the ice cream. And the other thing is, like you can see, I made a sample yesterday. Looking at the right camera, yep. And I just used frozen berries. So I had frozen mixed berries in my freezer, and so I used those. Great. So that's all that we need for the ingredients. And for the equipment, you'll need measuring spoons and cups. So measuring, just a 1 cup measure. You'll need a small bowl. If you're making 2 flavors, you'll need 2 bowls. You'll need a hand mixer or a stand mixer. If you've got a stand mixer at home, fantastic. I've just got this cheap little one here that I'm using today. If you don't have a hand mixer, you can just use a whisk. It's going to take you a little bit of extra time, but you can definitely do that. You'll need some spoons. You'll need a spatula. And you'll need a freezable plastic container. So I literally had this in my kitchen, and I saw that someone was going to throw it out, and I said, I'm washing that and we're going to reuse it. Great. Okay, optional, you might, if depending on what mix-ins you're using, you might need a knife and a cutting board. And if you needed to open your condensed milk, you might need a can opener. Great. Let's get into it. Excellent. So the first thing to do is to prepare any fillings that you might use. So you might have already done that. You can tell that I've just used blueberries, so I don't even need to prepare those. And I've got my raspberries, which I'm just going to keep those whole. I've chopped up a couple of little daggy bits, but you can do that in your own time. Great. So what we're going to do is grab yourself a bowl. If you're using a stand mixer, I want you to grab the mixing bowl from the stand mixer. I'm just using a little hand mixer, so that's all good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cups of our cream to our bowl. 2 cups. Now, in my classes, you'll never see me measure over the bowl. Always measure at the side. And the reason we do that is to make sure that we don't spill anything. So whether that is sugar, flour, cream, vanilla, everything gets measured at the side. So 2 cups, and have a look at where your the measurement on the side of your measuring thing is. So on mine, it's just a full cup. So you can see that I've got it all the way to the top. And then you can just pour it straight into your bowl. If you've got a spatula, give it a little. So 2 cups. If you've got a little bit of extra cream, like I've just got a little bit, I just throw it in. It's in this recipe, it doesn't matter. I'm just using the whole of the 600 mils. Some recipes we follow exactly the same. Perfect. Give me a thumbs up when you've done that so I know that you're ready to go. So 2 cups. So there's all sorts of little tips and tricks that we teach inside our Kids Love to Cook at Home membership. Great. And so what we're going to do here next is that we're going to beat our cream. Oh, actually, let's add our vanilla. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So double check which spoon you've got. And remember, I said we never measure over the bowl. I always use a little, always use a little placemat like this, just because that's easy for me to clean it. And if it spills, it's not the end of the world. Now, of course, you can make chocolate ice cream, you can make strawberry ice cream, you can make coffee ice cream, you can make all sorts of different, and you can also color it if you want to do that. So you can color it with a food dye, or you can color it with something like butterfly pea powder. But today I'm just leaving it as vanilla. And this is one of those things that you can play around with. Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to start beating. Now, if you are using a stand mixer, if you're using a stand mixer, it's going to be nice and simple because it does it for you, and you just pop it. Most stand mixers, you just pop them down and then it will beat nicely for you. I'm using my beaters here. So the best thing to do is to start off with it, with the beaters in the bowl, nice and upright. And we always start on low. Always start on low and then slowly increase the speed. And the reason that we do that is because we don't want it to like blast all over the place. It's if we're going to get cream everywhere, we just want it nice and so we start off nice and slow and really upright. So I'm holding onto my bowl with one hand and I've got my mixer here. Now, if you I think I've forgotten what I was going to say. If you need help, that's what I'm going to say. So you'll see in our recipes that we've always got a red arrow. And on those red arrows, that's where you need to ask for help, because the whole idea of kids cooking classes is that we're learning. And so we're starting off, depending on where you're at, you might be super capable and experienced and really love that. But if you are just starting out on your baking journey, then the best way to learn is by someone more experienced. So ask for help. So you may need someone helping you. So we're going to start. Now, we can overbeat our cream. So what we're looking for is you're going to start seeing lines appear. Now, right now you go, Beth, what are you talking about lines? But once the air gets whipped into the cream, you'll see that there are lines start to form. And so that's when the cream is the air is being added to the cream, and that's when it's starting to thicken. Now, if you go too far, you're going to make butter. We don't want butter. We just want beautiful thickened cream. And we want to be able to lift our beaters up and they're coating the beaters. So watch for that, because when I did it yesterday, within like 30 seconds, it went from not quite ready to super ready. All right, so mine might be a little bit noisy, so you may need to mute me for a while. This is probably going to take me about 2 minutes. But every mixer is different. And so that's why it's really, really important to check as you go. All right, because you can't fix it once you've gone too far. So always slowly, and then you can go. So I'm going to start off nice and slowly. And then I actually saw that question. Yes. When you start to see the soft peaks, stop. Great question. I love great questions. Great. So when it starts to kind of get nice and soft peaks, you can see I've got lots of bubbles now. Stop, and then I'll show you when to keep going till. All right, just showing you that I'm starting to get lines, but it's nowhere near ready yet because you can see that the cream just falls off the beaters. So nowhere near ready yet. All right, you can see starting to get thicker, starting to get lines. Not ready yet. All right, you can see I've got soft peaks and I'll just move that a bit so you can see it a bit easier. You can see that the cream is sticking to the beaters. So I've stopped. Perfect. Love that. Yeah, Christina. Yeah, love it. Excellent. Let me just see who's, yeah, that's all that's on. All right. If you want to show me your cream. All right, so you can see that the cream is sticky. I'll just move it so over it's darker. You can see that the cream is sticking to my beaters. Right. Well done, Aaliyah. Fantastic. Great. Gabby, how you doing there? Great. Fantastic. Aaliyah, you make me laugh. Oh, great. That's looking good. That's looking good. Let me see it. Christina's done. Because remember, we're going to mix through our condensed milk. So we don't want to keep going because we just need to whip that through just a little bit more as well. Now, while you're doing that, I'm just going to grab myself a container. Excellent. All right, give me a thumbs up when you are there. So I know, yep, great, great, great. Excellent. Christine, I think you were already there. Oh, fantastic. All right, excellent. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Great. Yeah, thanks, Henley. Wonderful. Love that. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pour our condensed milk very carefully. It's very thick. It's being cooked down to get rid of the moisture. So I'm using my spatula to get as much of this beautiful condensed milk out as possible. And condensed milk is ridiculously sweet. So I think it's like I think I read that it's 40% sugar. So you can use less. Someone's asked me before, can you use less? 100%. If you're not particularly a sweet person, you can reduce the amount of condensed milk because it really is a lot. We already added our vanilla. So we've got our condensed milk. And I'm just going to whip this with the beaters for just 15, 30 seconds. That's all. Remember, at this point, it's really easy for us to overbeat it. So we're just going to pop it on quickly, get all of that beautiful condensed milk mixed through the cream or incorporated. And that's it. And you'll be able to see that it's a little, actually, I'm going to mix mine just a little bit more because it's made it a bit thinner. So you can see that it's now running off. So I'm going to mix it a little bit more to add a little bit more air in it. Beautiful. That is fabulous. That's okay. It's all good. If it's over whipped, then it will go clumpy. Estelle asked a good question. Estelle asked a great question. How do you know if you've overbeaten it? It will start to go clumpy and separate. So if it's got to that point, there is no way back, but let's not get to that point. Next week inside our Kids Love to Cook at Home membership, we are starting Summer Bake School. And so Summer Bake School is 6 live classes, and which you can watch. You can join live, or you can watch the videos in your own time. And so there is 6 live recipes, and there is, I think we've got about 6 bonus recipes as well that you can watch the teachings in your own time. And so we're doing vanilla ice cream. Obviously, you've already done that. But then we're also making raspberry sorbet. And we're making an ice cream, like a healthy ice cream cake. And we're doing all sorts of fun picnic food because summer is all about outside food. Okay, phone rings. And so we're doing, what are we making? We're making corn fritters. We're making kofta skewers. We're making a salmon poke bowl. So lots of great summer food. And so we start that next Monday. And the live classes are at 2 p.m. So you can join, you can do something in the morning, come back, do an activity in the afternoon. So great. Okay, it looks like you guys are doing well. Excellent. Give me a thumbs up when you are done. You guys that have got your video on, great. Thanks, Gabby. Excellent, Henley. Great. Love that. Oh, Christina's having a little taste test. I love it. Great. Okay, now it is all about, okay, so Campbell just asked the question, how do you know when you're done? All right, so let me just, what you want is it to be scoopable. So I could probably keep going a little bit longer, but remember, we're going to freeze it. So it doesn't have to be like crazy beaten. but it does have to have nice soft peaks. Now, when I made it yesterday, I'll be honest with you, I just put the condensed milk and the cream in together and then whipped it. This way, I've followed the recipe, being a good girl, following it completely, and I could probably beat it a little bit longer. So you saw before that I had nice, it was hanging onto the beaters. So you can see here that it's nice and smooth and silky. That's enough. You don't have to keep going. That will be well and truly enough. Great. I hope I've answered that question. Okay. The next part. If you just want vanilla, ice cream, you can pour your mixture straight into your container straight away. Or if you want to divide it and make vanilla and then another flavor, you can do that. I had one of my members make mango. So what they did is sort of like the Wheat bars. And she started off by putting the vanilla at the bottom and then made a layer of puree. She put pureed mango through it. Oh, yum. So good. I'm going to make just this guy here. This is just a little takeaway container. Just going to pour that in. So I've got a vanilla. Oh my gosh, 100%. Someone asked the magic question, and I've got some here. Can you add Nutella? 100,000%. Definitely you can add Nutella. That will make it hazelnutty and it'll give a beautiful marble effect. So I'm just doing plain vanilla for that one. Popping my lid on, and literally I can pop that into the fridge. Now for this one here, I'm going to add my berries and my raspberries. And straight away you can see, oh, yum, that beautiful marbling. Now, if you keep mixing it, it will go all one color. So what I've done is I've made one plain vanilla. And then for this one here, I'm doing a flavor. I'm using blueberries and a couple of raspberries, but my blueberries are making my mixture turn purple. And I absolutely love the marble look in my ice cream. So don't over mix it if you want, if you like the marble look. If you want it to be all one color, then you can keep going. I'm going to stop because I can see it's starting to mix. And also I talked earlier about coloring it. So if you want to add a little drop of food coloring to make it a different color, you can do that. If you want to make it mint, you can add a little peppermint essence flavor. I would add like half a teaspoon. Should you melt chocolate? What's that question? Or could I would melt it. I would melt the I would melt the chocolate in the microwave and then pour it onto the mixture and then just fold it through. I am loving. Can I add cookie dough? Oh my gosh, Aaliyah, that's a great idea. I love it. You guys are so creative. This is awesome. So many things to do. You can puree the fruit up as well, because remember that lady that she made the mango. So if you want to puree something up in the NutriBullet, you can do that and then add it to your creamy mixture as well. That's an option. Caramel chocolate. Oh, yum. Love it. Love it. This is great. How do you add your cookie dough? Chop it up into really small pieces because, you want to put it into think about how you're going to eat it. So if you're going to pick up a piece, like a spoon of ice cream with cookie dough in it, how do you want that texture to be? Do you want it in big chunks, or do you want it smooth in it like a puree type thing? If you want it in chunks, then chop up your cookie dough to the point where it's going to taste and feel nice in your mouth. Great. What is my favorite flavor? Oh, the mango. For me, the mango. I like the plain vanilla. I'm not a big ice cream eater. I'm not going to lie to you. Like in our house, I've got 4 daughters, and 2 of them still live at home, and everybody knows mum will never eat that ice cream. So if someone's been a secret little ice cream stealer in the middle of the night, they know it's dad. Dad has stolen that ice cream because it will never be mum. So I don't love cold things. So last night when I made my sample ice cream, Annalise, my youngest daughter, said to me, "Oh, Mum, this ice cream's fantastic." I said, "Excuse me, that's my ice cream." And so nobody thought it would be my ice cream. So family life. Great. Great. I love how you guys are using the chat. That's fantastic. When you ask a question, then that's really helpful to me, because then I know, oh, that's what you guys are thinking. So, and this is what we do inside the Kids Love to Cook at Home membership. So you can join for 1 month, you can join for 4 months. We're running a deal at the moment where you can join for a year. And Jess is going to put a link into the group chat, but your parents will also get an email at the end of this class giving you a link to the page where you can see it's $39 a month, and you can jump in, jump out at any point. So some people come just for the school holidays, and then they not join, and some people want to be part of it for a year, because that means every time we do school holidays, we've got bake school, and I've just finished Christmas bake school, we're doing summer bake school, starts next week, and then we do Easter bake school, etc., etc. And then during the term, every Wednesday night I do from 5 till 6 p.m. we do midweek meals, so you can cook dinner for your family in that class. Starts at 5 and dinner is on the table, usually 6 or 6:15, and you're learning and you're being part of family life as well. So that's a really fun thing. So that's all part of Kids Love to Cook at Home. So check that out for your parents. How are we traveling along? Great. What I'm going to do next is grab my last container, and I've got lumps in there. All right, and just pouring in. And all of the live classes for Kids Love to Cook at Home are at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So you can do things in the morning and then come home and then still keep busy. Fantastic. Now, it is important that when you put your ice cream into the fridge or the freezer, you're not putting it in the fridge, that you cover it. So you can cover it in cling wrap, you can cover it with a proper container, but make sure that it is covered, because otherwise it gets the flavor of the freezer, and this is not where we're going. So depending on everybody's freezer is different, but if you haven't defrosted the freezer for a long time, and look, who does that? Not me. It can sometimes get a bit of a funny old smell, like a sour water smell. So it is important that whatever we put in to the freezer, that we cover it. So I know in my family, and it might not even be, might only be just my family, but when we I often go to the freezer and then I look in and somebody has not closed the bread container. Now, I'm sure it might not happen at your place, but at my place, I'll go to the freezer, I open up the bread container, the bread packet, and there's somebody that has so lazy that they can't even close the bread pack it up. And then it gets that horrible taste in it. So we don't want that for our ice cream. Beautiful. How are we traveling? All right. Fantastic. Great. The 2 p.m. classes are just in the holidays. Yeah, that's great. And the midweek is for school term. That is exactly right. Great. So midweek meals, we do it for about 8 to 9 weeks, depending on the term. And yeah, midweek meals, love it. I love it for me because I get to make dinner and get to do it. It's fun. Excellent. All right, fantastic. Guys, take a photo of your ice cream. This is my ice cream that I made yesterday. It might have defrosted a little. Not that you can see any difference, but let me find it. There we go. Oh, yum, yum. Now, this is crazy sweet. So keep in mind how much that you have. You really only want to have a small amount. It's not one of those things that, it's not healthy ice cream on any level. It is full of sugar. And so we only need to have a small amount. But it is delicious. And you'll think, oh, I want heaps. So just to say that at the end of the class. Great. Last thing, pack, wash, wipe. At the end of every cooking session, we pack, wash, wipe, pack away. Pack away all of the ingredients that you've used and the equipment. Any rubbish goes straight into the bin. Wash, we're going to wash up, whether you wash up by hand or whether you pop things into the dishwasher. And the last thing that you do is you wipe down your bench. So pack, wash, wipe. There is a downloadable little poster inside the Kids Love to Cook at Home that you can put up to remind yourself to do that each time that you cook. And that way, everyone at your home will be very, very happy for you to cook again because you have learned how to do the whole process. Fantastic. So good having you all here. If you're joining me for the next class, I will see you then. Otherwise, you'll get some emails over the next few days letting you know about Kids Love to Cook at Home and the recording from today's class. Great. So good having you. See you next time.